Hey, this is Justin Case of American Newscape, joining our friend and the original American mentor, Jerry Maldonado, back for this week's installment of American Mentoring. Hello, Jerry. Welcome back to American Newscape.
It's Monday, Meatball. Let's get to work, man. Let's make this cool tonight. Come on.
Okay. Hey, I
love these banters that we go on, man. I love it.
Well, and I've got my narration voice tuned in, so I'm ready to go with this. Now, Jerry, when given the opportunity, courage can really be a remarkable thing. And I think we find courage lots of ways. And today we decided we're going to talk about courage and how we understand it or how we may apply it. So, Jerry, that being said, what's happening?
I love this topic of courage because some people take it out of context compared to what it really is. Courage, I'll define it like right in front of me, the ability to do something that frightens one. That's like the fireman going into the burning building, that kind of thing. When you're dealing with on a personal level of courage, and you're fighting like an illness, that to me is the embodiment of courage. But when you're going at it for a goal, courage can be misconstrued with a lot of things in life, because when you're going after something that you truly know is yours, you truly want, there's no courage involved. It's a natural effect of you feeling it, believing it, visualizing it, and going for it every single day. Well, what's your take on it?
Well, you raise an interesting point. I believe that sometimes it takes courage to go down a path or to pursue an action, and it can be as simple as modifying one's behavior. You know, it may take courage to quit drinking. It may take courage to, make your relationship stronger. And I think it's a big word. It is a very big word, and I think a lot of us have more courage than we realize, and we just need to apply it. It does.
Yeah, it's got a lot of variables. But courage to me is an inside job when it comes to anything that you're trying to attain or achieve in life. The better self-image you have of yourself, the more natural your abilities to perform is going to come out of you. Does that make sense?
Well, it absolutely. And as your mind is prepared to do something, whether that was courage created, things slow down for you. When you know what you're doing, when you see that path, things slow down for you. So it's that courage that you're implementing. It may not seem like courage, but indeed it is. It is courage.
Yeah.
To change, to do something.
You can have, indeed. You make a great point. A life change. Per se. I watched a great movie about that. People who had everything and just let it all go because they wanted to be truly happy. And they allowed themselves to take that next step. Indeed. And there's a lot of people that go out there, myself included. Throughout my past, I've climbed the ladder of success only to realize I put it up against the wrong wall, man.
Yeah.
And you gotta shift back and encourage to do that. Indeed, that's a great variable of that word as well. But anything, you shouldn't have to fight for anything. And this is what people forget in the hustle and the grind. We're creators. We're not competitors. You don't have to compete for anything because we have our own uniqueness in life to bring that to the world. Indeed, there's going to be situations where you might have to use that. But from a model of a personal success, just create who you are. And the world's going to wrap around that. And I had to learn the hard way after losing business after business, fighting, not realizing it wasn't what I really wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? Whereas what I'm doing now flows naturally. There's no courage needed to make that adjustment in life. Does that make sense?
Well, it does make sense. And that's learning to, follow that. Well, I want to say follow that path, but that's accurate. But once you found your comfort zone to move forward, you certainly started to move forward.
Yeah, your eyes are moving right towards what you want to do, and it alleviates a lot of that fear. That fear mindset. And part of the definition of courage is strength in the face of pain or grief. Um, a lot of challenges. Yeah, indeed. I just lost my sister-in-law. She had the courage. She was fighting cancer for months. They finally defeated her on that part. That's courage and valor in life. You truly wanted to proceed in something like that. But as I said, on a personal level, if you're going after what you want, I mean, the obstacle, as Napoleon said, the obstacles will give way. I'm telling you, if you got a mindset, like you said, straightforward on what you want to do, like you and I do every day with our media and our words and whatever we're doing, it just comes natural. There's no courage needed because we know where we're going with it. We have this complete faith in ourselves, which is a great point to bring up as well. You got to believe it. You got to have a complete, utter faith in yourself that you can move forward with whatever you're trying to do.
Well, you brought up a French meatball, Napoleon. He wasn't a winner, Jerry. He may have had
Wasn't a winner.
courage.
He was a conqueror, man. He did anything. The problem was he wasn't a very nice guy, but he
No.
had this vision of what he wanted, and sadly, the outcome was the outcome. But it's a bad metaphor right now. But I just wanted to use some words, man. What the hell, people? Come on, man, talk to me.
Well, Tecumseh
But
Sherman.
courage, yeah, courage is a lot of people have that. I just did the show on that on Facebook. Your sole purpose is your sole purpose. Indeed, we're all conditioned to do things a certain way. You got to do everything a certain way in life, and it puts all this stress on people. And they try to fight to get the money and the marriage and this and that and the white picket fence. When if they just followed their heart and what they truly wanted to do, all that would be alleviated. But the
Right.
problem is you go through all the steps, you build up all this financial burden and responsibility, and God bless children if you have them, but you still don't have what you want to do. And the
Well,
courage there is to take that step forward, like I did later in life, to move forward what I really wanted to do, and so on and so forth. Does that make sense?
well, it does. It's not necessarily follow a certain path. It's follow the right path for you.
Yes, yes,
And
indeed.
and
If you've got a vision in your heart, and we all do, man. That documentary I watched was about five people who had everything. I mean, everything, but for decades they were miserable, and all of them made that leap, and they're all 100% happier that they did it. They had to face it, indeed, that in the face of courage, because everything was around them, their responsibilities, their obligations, and they still chose to make the leap. And that's a great adage to live by when it comes to courage, because you're risking everything to become something. You get it?
well, I do. And that reminds me. There's one saying that is very popular in society these days, and it should offend every intelligent person. And it's simply, it is what it is, and that's
No.
ludicrous. It's just
Yeah.
totally ludicrous.
They're going to throat punch that guy when Meatball said that. That's
He's
just not. It puts people in a box, and that's what they want to do, man. They want people in a box. They don't want that. They want them to adhere to their rules in life. When we all have our own DNA. We're all unique, and we all have this purpose to be, have, or do anything that we choose to do. But then you got these other meatballs out there telling us, no, leave it alone. Just, no. I guess I was the black sheep in the family because I never listened to stuff like that. I really couldn't. I left everything to become this something. You know what I mean? And did what I had to do. Yeah, did it hurt? Yeah. But in the end, I mean, the weight off your chest, my God, and you know it from whatever you do in life, the minute you find your path, there's one road now. That's it. You're moving straight towards it now. And what happens, happens. And it's going to be awesome because you're creating it in life. You're not fighting for anything anymore.
Well, that's right, and it's not courage to explain to your boss on the phone that you need to go to you're at Starbucks for the third time that day, spending
Yeah.
$22 on some very strange coffee, sitting around what I would consider people that don't have much ambition either, And so now you have to lie to
You
your
got
life. You have to lie to your boss. Well, that's not courage. That's just
no.
tomfoolery. Hey, you don't get to say that every. Repeat after me. Tomfoolery. That's bad. Bad mojo.
Well, I'm not. But indeed, it's just bad company. But you got to be true to yourself.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
that's the hardest thing people have got to realize is that that's why it's an inside job. That's why you shouldn't go after anything until you create it here completely and you know that you can really go after it. People just, go after stuff not realizing it's not what they really want. And I'm living proof, man. I got bankruptcies back, 30 years ago. But you make mistakes indeed, and we all learn by that. We all live by that. But when you truly go after what's been aching at you to go after, life gets out of the way. I'm not going to say Napoleon again. Okay, I'm going to kind
Good.
of
Good.
it's going to move out of the way, man. It's going to
Somebody.
come to you instead of away from you.
Well, we'll use somebody like Patton. Patton didn't necessarily have courage. He had character.
Yes, and fortitude. He had, my goodness. I mean, the Battle of the Bulge was amazing because without that, it would not. We'd be in a different culture right now. And history like that. That's courage by putting millions of people in line to change the world. And it's a great history lesson for people to look after if they get scared because they want to, go after something in their life. Look what these people were up against. I mean, because of them, we have what we have now. And they're a small part of it indeed, but that was just a turning point in a lot of people's lives.
Well, for the entire world. And,
Yeah. Yeah.
I think a lot of us do recognize that generation as the greatest generation.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You,
And you bring up a great point, but go ahead. I'll bring it up.
well, no, no, it's just that we think of that about that generation, then we want to romanticize about the Revolutionary War, and most
Yeah.
of the people involved in the Revolutionary War didn't even understand what they were doing or how they were going to benefit by it. They just found themselves there.
Yeah. They also had they had that once that document was signed, man, they had something to go by. But before that, yeah, it was just kind of a militia kind of thing. But once that document was signed, they had a preamble to their future. And we all should be writing our preambles to our own future when it comes to something like that. And that is your document that you look at every day, whatever it's a goal list. We can do a show on goals, whatever it might be. But point being is the same thing with the Battle of the Bulge in World War II was the same thing that we knew we had to create a better place. And you had the right leaders in the right places. You had MacArthur on one end, and then you had Patton on the other, and it was just a perfect synchronization of people in the right place at the right time. We have that same power with ourselves, but we got to believe in that power with ourselves and keep doing that every day.
With today being Martin Luther King Day, I had to go back and look at some of his quotes, and rapidly what became my favorite quote was him talking about the Constitution and how
Mhm.
everybody in this country, that was the gift to us, the
Oh yeah.
Constitution, and that the Constitution would indeed carry on. And that might have been a romantic wish of his, but it's certainly something that's that I'm passionate about as well. It was a remarkable, remarkable document.
Well, he had great backing on that too, because the man who wrote it, Jefferson, was an advocate to get rid of slavery. So, he was in good company with King when it came to the same principles and the same passion for the unity of Americans together. And it's a great story. I mean, it's like King was reading Jefferson, Jefferson was reading King before King was even King.
Right, 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 right,
You know what I mean? So it's a great metaphor to live in life because we all have equal opportunity. We have all this, and you look at America. There's no other place around like that. There should be no limits in your dreams. You have nothing in the way except yourself. So if you got the courage, indeed, however way you define courage in your life, go for it, be it, do it. It's gonna happen in some way. But yeah, you got to step over the fire, man. You're gonna get burned a few, couple, three times, like we all do in life. But until you get to that point, you're sick and tired of being sick and tired. You're just going to be on that hamster wheel of your old life that you keep reproducing every single day until you step up and realize that you're something different. And you are the Pattons and the Kings and the Jeffersons of your own world.
Absolutely, absolutely, Jerry, and that is a wonderful perspective, and it's something that we need to remind ourselves of in the mornings. We are very important. We are vital. We are vital to our
Yeah.
world, to the people that love us, to the people we love, and that's courage too. Love can be, a mother that has to take care of a child with leukemia, a young child, that basically put her life on hold. That is a remarkable amount of courage, and it's intuitive to her.
Oh yeah, but you bring up a great point again. I mean,
What are
it's
the
like a
odds?
meatball. Look at you, man. You're always bringing up great points. People don't realize I still have a full time job. I'm doing 70 hours a week of doing my other passion in life, but I still make time to do another 25 hours of my work for media, you and Facebook, and then I still take care of my mom who
Yeah,
is elderly, who I take care of on the side a couple, 3 days a week. So I don't want to hear about any excuses, man. About people that they don't have time.
right.
You make time and you prioritize what you're trying to do. And that lady with the child with leukemia, indeed, you don't really put anything on hold. If you've got a few minutes every day, you're starting the process, whatever it might be. That's taking that leap of faith in yourself. Does that make sense?
Well, it does, and the wonder. Your mom's given you a wonderful gift to look after her. When you think about it, she's not
Oh
only
yeah.
given you that opportunity, but she brought you up where you had the character to do it.
Thank you. Thank you. We lost that, man. They think about it. The majority of people, they lost that foundation of how they were raised. That, like you and I, the respect and how blood is to be important with the family. We lost that basic function and foundation. You see it all over the media today, and you see why everybody's such a mess.
Well, well,
They're
just
a
because.
mess, man. Their people are a mess. I don't understand it. I'm going to back my head against the wall here. The basic foundation of life is installed the first, what, 7 years. And if it's not installed, we're like a sponge. We're like a delta hypnosis the first 7 years of our life. And whatever's put in there. So if you got a chaotic family, you're going to have a chaotic life. And you have to redo that all over again later on in life. But I know I got out of my crazy tonight. Go
Well,
ahead,
no,
Chris.
no. I had to overcome watching cartoons that had mice in the refrigerator dancing with the celery.
Oh yeah,
Well,
simple, simple.
whoa,
I
not
mean,
necessarily.
imagination. Yeah, we were all little Einsteins, being able to do whatever we wanted to do back then. It was great. We imagine, do whatever. Now, forget it, man. You got culture wars and all the other stuff going on now, and you got you and I, a couple meatballs, trying to inspire people. I mean, that's all we can do. I mean,
Yeah,
it's a great thing.
yeah, but proud of that moniker because your mom gave it to you.
Mm. And I gave it to my kids. That was the foundation. I made sure, not just the loyalty, but the respect of self.
Right.
I mean, and once you put that in, they can go out and do a couple, three silly things and mess up, but they still have the foundation. You never really lose that. You know what I mean?
Well, and a lot of us, we stumble or stagger through life, and we don't realize the impact we have on others. And
Oh yeah.
sometimes,
Oh yeah.
sometimes we all need to stop. Boy, there's a voice inflection. We all need to stop and assess that. It's just,
Oh yeah.
a lot of people will, they shrug off compliments, and maybe
I know.
hope.
Isn't that sad?
Well, it is. It
Isn't
is.
that sad?
You know,
You're afraid to give a compliment to somebody. You might offend them, man. God forbid. Pardon the pun. I said God. I'm sorry,
no, no,
but
no.
you
But
know, it should it shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't be
well,
that way in life. Everybody deserves that. That's why all I do every day is I express who I truly am and give out what I truly am to other people. People don't forget words. They really don't. You know what I mean? How you made them feel, they'll never forget, and which is most important. So if you can do that, as we're digressing off the topic, it's a great foundation to live, because You let go of fear when you live in love. There's those two main emotions, love and fear. If you stay within that love zone of love of self, love of life, love of your being, you'd be surprised. I mean, you don't need courage, man. You're just going to go for what you want with ease.
Well, that's true. And it's a wonderful gift we give to others to, when somebody loves us, we have to, we have to allow them to love us. And when somebody compliments us, we need to not shrug that off because that's important to them.
That's deep. Yeah, that's deep. It's also the foundation of ourself. If you don't love yourself, I mean, you're not going to be able to love others, and that's a whole other animal we can go we can go into. But the true love of self. If everybody truly loved themselves, what an amazing place this world would be. I mean, I know I'm looking for unicorns and rainbows now, man, but it all starts within. It's about changing our world that changes the outside world because each individual is their own little world, and you combine that same in a community, and this, I mean, amazing things happen. But you have to love yourself, and that's the hardest thing for people because we've been taught otherwise to do this, do this, do this, do this. Just like robots, you can't tell the only being on this planet with the intelligence to create how to be something. They have to be themselves. Does that make sense?
Well, I do. Aspire to be yourself. I mean,
Indeed.
it's live your truth is a little much, a little cliche. Heck of a lot better than it is what it is.
Oh, indeed. Oh, I know. You better email me that guy. I'm gonna throat punch him, man. You don't be telling people that. It's like Walter Cronkite during Vietnam. That's the way it is. No, it ain't, Meatball. That shouldn't be that way, man. We gotta take care of business here, man. But on the same note, courage, the ability to do something that frightens one. If it frightens you so much, you need to do more inner work on yourself to get back to that, to get the back to that self in life. You got to go within. And I never understood that. I always thought I had to fight for everything in life and get a rah rah and grind and bump. No. When you find yourself, you can be yourself.
Okay, Jerry. We may have been a little scattered tonight, but I do appreciate the directions and where we went. Do you have a final
Oh,
thought for
yeah.
us?
Never deny yourself who you want to be because you have to answer to that. And the more you can push out that true self, a little by little each day, and take the baby steps. So yeah, you might have put the ladder on the wrong wall, and realize, oh, this is not for me. That's okay. I've been there a couple of 3 times, man. It's okay. You gotta you gotta figure yourself out. Put the ladder up another wall. That doesn't work. Do another wall. And believe me, with that little bit of effort, yes, indeed, it does take courage because you're risking certain things. I mean, the rewards are amazing. Awesome show, Justin.
All right, Jerry. It was. So, everybody, this has been Justin Case and Jerry Maldonado bringing you American Mentoring. Thanks for joining us. Remember, additional information and links are provided in this video's read more. Today is the day to subscribe to this channel. Please check out American Mentoring Radio and Jerry Maldonado.